Welcome in and welcome back, fans of the NWHL, after a 3-week, what I guess we'll call the faux international break from competition. We are back here in front of a capacity crowd here at Warrior Ice Arena for the Boston Pride and the Buffalo Beauts, getting set to start the next chapter of the NWHL 1920 season. I am Sam Fryman with you on the call. Glad to be back with Erica Ayala alongside me, providing color commentary. And Erica, this is a matchup that I think the fans are going to want to see for the first contest back in the NWHL. Two teams that have been so dangerously good to start the season so far.
Yes, and I've seen it tossed around by yourself, I believe, by Melissa Burgess, shout out to her, that this Buffalo team is kind of a sleeper team. But I'd like to just remind everyone that in the history of this league, the Buffalo Beauts have jumped around from 1 through 3, but they've always found themselves in the final. So that is something that this Boston Pride team, that's looking really good so far, Sam, needs to make sure they're mindful of.
And the Pride certainly won't forget being eliminated by these Buffalo Beauts in last season's playoff. They have that on their mind. They're going to start out with a similar lineup that has been just commanding for them all season long. That top line of Jillian Dempsey, McKenna Brand, Christina Putinha, and a stat that I found near unbelievable going into this game, the shots registered by Boston's top line alone, just 4 fewer than the amount of shots all season long by Buffalo's entire team.
That is unbelievable, but it is definitely the charge that Coach Paul Mara has given to this Boston Pride team, and you see that first line taking advantage.
The puck is dropped and we are underway. No need to adjust your Twitch TV screens as well. The Boston Pride out there skating in some pretty sharp-looking camouflage jerseys for Military Appreciation Night here at Warrior Ice Arena as they get an early icing call. And Boston, they come into this game, of course, 7-0-0 on the season. Their 7th game at home. Riveters, this is game number, I'm sorry, not Riveters, Beauts. I was looking at my previous notes. Road game number 4 for them, 3-2-0 on the season. And the last series out against Boston fell by scores of 4-2 and 8-1. And Boston trying to start very quickly. Putinha, a quick shot in there on Mariah Fujimagari. She gets the start for the Beauts out here. Now the captain, Corrine Bowie. She sends it into the middle. And coming over, Klimashova. She fires one in, easily saved by Lavisa Solander.
Well, if the Buffalo Beauts are aware of that stat that you mentioned on shots, they're already off to a good start. You mentioned that the score lines last time they were here. They're going to want to wash that taste out of their mouth.
And new line for Beauts out there right now, going to try to win the faceoff was Brown. She couldn't quite do so. Lauren Kelly trying to get it into the corner. And here's Mary Parker stepping onto it, switches places, and Boston will try to clear around the half wall. Again, held in by Bowering. Forced to the backhand, tried to send it into the middle, where she had a teammate waiting, but Boston, they will go in transition. Could have a 3-on-2 if they hurry. Here comes Mary Parker from the wing, drops it off now for Fluke, sends one in, almost went behind Fujimagari, but now battled for in the corner. The Beauts will get it back out. So very much a speed game in these first couple shifts. Both teams really trying to feel each other out, but prove that they are going to really stretch those legs to try to work in transition.
I think it's also about being aggressive. The Buffalo Beauts were subject to the Pride starting with their foot on the gas and weren't really able to recover. It looks like this evening they're really trying to be mindful of that and be the aggressors.
And Lexi Lang, good individual effort to get into the zone. She receives that puck at the corner, tried to send it cross ice, but not one of her teammates could receive that pass. And here goes Buffalo through the middle. McPherson has Guillen right behind her. Again, she tries to send it out to the middle for the ever-dangerous Brooke Stacey. She's got 6 goals in 5 games. One of the goal-scoring leaders of the entirety of the NWHL, behind only McKenna Brand of Boston. And up ice now, it's Rowe with nothing but blue jerseys around her. She still manages to get it into the offensive zone so Boston can get a change. And now Carly Taves, she will hold it in. And a good scrap there with Klimashova, gets it down to the corner. Taves trying to work it out. And Buffalo, this step onto the puck, but that one goes out into their own bench, so a stoppage with just over 2 minutes gone in period number 1.
You alluded to it, but yes, there are some new lines here for the Buffalo Beauts, including we see Corrine Bowie, captain of this team, taking the ice. She jumps up to that top line.
And she's on that line out there right now, and a good call to the defensive pairs as well. You see Marie-Jo Peltier lining up at the side of the circle next to McKenna Brand. And Corrine Bowie going to be in the face-off circle against the opposite Captain Dempsey. Boston tries to win it. Brand couldn't send it farther through behind the net. Buffalo, they will attempt to clear now. They just get it out of there. Suliolis halts there at the far side trying to shove that puck back in, but Buffalo gets to it and they will recoil. Peltier and Aaron pass there, and Brand will go and get it into the corner, but now Peltier picks it back up. Very speedy there on the back end. And a good game of back and forth at the neutral zone so far. We've got just over 2.5 minutes gone as Pride trying to work back into the offensive zone. So Leotis dumped, forces Fujimagari out of the net. She had quite the two performances against the Pride last time out. Did Mariah Fujimagari really kept them in both those games, especially the first one that was only a 4-2 loss when it looked like Buffalo at times had really taken control because of her stellar play as she juggles one right there on cue and able to hold it with the glove.
Yes, Fujimagari has definitely been a player on this Buffalo Beauts team that has had to stand tall and has stood out so far in this NWHL season. Of course, Brooke Stacy, another one of those, and Marie-Jo Peltier, or as I like to refer to her, the notorious MJP.
I like that name. Trying to clear it out are the Beauts now. Pride applying good offensive pressure. We talked about the undefeated streak, another streak that they're going to try to continue here in the first period. Every single game they have scored first. So Buffalo will certainly be aware of that. They don't want this Pride team to have any energy early. Emily Fluke picks it up with the backhand. She tries to rim it around for Wolfeiler. She doesn't quite get to it. Now Candace Sheriff, she will get it away from trouble. Beauts still looking to clear. Wolfeiler almost picked that up, but now building up a ton of speed. Bowering trying to come in, switches wings with Sheriff, goes to the far side now, winds up a shot, goes only off of the body of Lauren Kelly. Pride can step to it, one skipped towards the net, but not quite in. Just about 4 minutes gone here in period number one, still waiting for our first score. Here is Lauren Kelly into the offensive zone, tries to switch places, gets tripped up there, and that's going to be an early penalty call on Buffalo. Good job by Lauren Kelly to draw that one out. So at just about the 4-minute mark of period number one, Boston Pride to the power play. But for Buffalo fans, may not mean too much trouble for them. They've had the league's most dominant penalty kill at just about 90%, so they know how to stop some of the most deadly weapons in the NWHL.
I believe it was said in the chat earlier that this game could very well come down to special teams. Both of these teams successful.
And Soliotis tried to get it to the side of the net there where Lang was waiting, poking away at it with the backhand. Fujimagari almost down and takes a tumble there. She tries to get those pucks out, but now it's behind the cage. Taves out there with Lexi Lang, this rookie line for the Boston Pride. Hard to call them that given the production they've put up so far. And back to the point, Soliotis. Down low, into the middle, backhanded through, just missing on the redirect with the backhand was Tori Sullivan, but she picks it up in the corner, gets it back around to Taves. She circles. Fratkin at the point, you know how deadly that slap shot is as that goes wide of the blocker. Soliotis going to it now, and she has it behind the cage. Taves still trying to create something. 1:07 to go on the power play. Fratkin, big slap shot again off of the pads of Fujimagari. Taves picks it up. So these Buffalo legs getting tired, they cannot change. Unit working well for Boston right now. Soliotis to Sullivan. Near side circle, she instead sends it back to Fratkin. Good D-to-D passing, now Soliotis through. Couldn't get one in the low slot from Lang, and finally it will be cleared out by Taylor Accursi. Buffalo can change. 41 seconds to go on the woman advantage, 4:41 to go in period number one. And Boston going to switch out their power play unit to the top line now. They tried to get it to the off wing there. Ford Dempsey gets sent back down to the opposite end. And a new defensive pair as well will take point. That's Kelly and Bender. From the left wing, Kelly sends it farther ahead into the final 16 seconds of the power play now. And just cleared past the hand of Bender as she tried to keep it in at the left point. And maybe just time for one final rush for Boston. As they get it up to McKenna Brand now, out of the box. Comes delay. And a good early kill for the Buffalo Beauts. And now they really have to go to work offensively. They come into this game averaging only around 24 shots per game. Definitely going to have to do better than that to beat the Boston Pride.
I mean, the Boston Pride can easily put that up, in a period and a half of work.
And they're trying to do so far. They keep up the offensive pressure, going to get it behind the net, and now in the corner, Dempsey. Has some help there by Puccini, but the teammates run into each other, trying to get that puck away from Bowering. Stapled along the corner, and now almost through the legs did Dempsey go. A good shot fired, but deflected wide again, Fujimagari. Beauts will take it up. We're just about 7 minutes gone through period number 1, still looking for our first score. Good pressure applied by both teams so far. Not quite cleared out, held in by Bused. Only went off of the body of Putinha, and she possibly avoided a cross-checking call. No, she didn't. So that will be a cross-check assessed to number 21, and right after their first woman advantage of the game, Buffalo to the power play now at the 13:02 mark.
And now we get to see what the Buffalo Beauts will look like, of course, on the power play.
And starting out, it looks like it's going to be Bowie with a Kersey and Bowering. And on the point, MJP, as you referred to her, with Lenka Kermova. And a quick shot fired in there. Rebound. Peltier was looking for it. Couldn't quite get it past Solander. And getting it out of there will be Mary Parker trying to go to work shorthanded. And Bowering will pick it back up. 1:35 to go. Gotten away and into the zone. Here comes Bowie trying to make some good stick moves around. Gets it into the center, but picking her pocket for that puck. And now clearing it out of the zone will be Emily Fluke. And also should mention, offensively, Buffalo, they've struggled with shots, but they've also struggled with goal differential, one of several teams doing so. But they and Boston, actually Minnesota and Boston, I'm sorry, the only two teams right now in the NWHL with a positive goal differential.
Part of that is because...
And a good shorthanded steal here from Lexi Lang. She tries to go in unchallenged. Getting a stick in there at the last second was delayed.
And right there you see what some of that goal differential, positive goal differential, has to do with. It's just that the Boston Pride have been so dominant.
So final 41 seconds of the woman advantage. Putinha in the box for cross-checking for Boston. And they again will try to clear it out. Stepping onto that puck, here comes Fratkin. She will just dump it into the offensive zone and change out for the end of her shift. 11:30 to go in period number 1 now. And back into the offensive zone, here comes Klimashova. Around and not quite cleared out from the half wall. Brooks Stacy able to keep that one in. Bender gets to it behind her own cage. Will try to bank one off of the glass. Good aim for Lexi there as she sends one all the way down ice. And into the final 6 seconds, Buffalo may get one final rush here, if not for the aggressive forechecking of McKenna Brand, who looked like forced delay down to her feet, couldn't make that play. So we're back to even strength hockey. 10:54 to go in period number 1. Bowering getting right back into the zone for Buffalo. Kelly picks it up, turns away from her. Almost an ankle-breaking stop there on the ice to get free. And now up the ice. Could race in ahead of the defense. Here comes Sullivan. Has a player behind her. Tried to get it to the opposite wing for Emily Fluke, who is going right to the front of the net. This third line out for Boston. And a new D pair is Whitney Wren gets her first minutes. Makes a good move there from the circle, but lost the puck. And Beauts will try to clear back out. That is Orzechowski going to the opposite end. Cut off the pass for Bowie in the middle. Sullivan comes right back in. Now halts at the half wall and turns. Waiting for some forward support, and now she gets it. Down low, looking for that pass. Gotten back to the point. Here's Mastel making some good moves. Almost got a tip. Bouncer goes in. Rebound. They score! A fortuitous rebound that came right in front of the blue paint, and waiting to pick that up, keeping her hot streak going on the goal-scoring list. It is Mary Parker. So let that goal-scoring streak continue for her, and let the goal-scoring streak of scoring first continue for the Boston Pride. They draw first blood in this game, 1-0.
And as you noted, Sam, it was Mastel that had that shot that went in. You saw that the Boston Pride was able to get an initial look on goal from that shot in, but then it was the rebound. Fujimagari was there for the first one, but couldn't slide over for the second. And we have a 1-0 game in favor of the Boston Pride with 9:52 left on the clock.
And Mary Parker, for her, that is goal number 3, point number 7 on the season. Buffalo now trying to respond with 9:44 to go in period number 1. They're into the offensive zone, held in by Sheriff, just able to bat it away, and now Peltier with it, able to get some room around Soliotis, but all camouflage jerseys around her couldn't get back to the forehand, but great individual effort. And now being sprung once again. Here comes Putinha. She fires one in from a bad angle, almost got tripped up there by Bowie, just held in at the last second by Fratkin. Pride can set up once again, goes D to D. Fratkin looking for the lane will instead take the slap shot. Careens off of the body there of Klimasova. Again, a clearing attempt, held in by the Pride along the half wall. Backhanding that to keep that in was Dempsey. She'll now just shove away at it as Soliotis is down on the ground. And Buffalo dumps it in, but that will be an icing call with 8:55 to go in the period. So once again, Boston Pride, they're not used to playing from behind. They get the early jump, and now if you're Buffalo, you turn to that speed game. You saw Marie-Jo Peltier started in early, just had a ton of jerseys around her, but when you get those players free, there are some very dangerous ones who can shoot high on Buffalo.
Yes, definitely. They have the capability. For Buffalo, though, although I think they're being better at being aggressive and not being hemmed in, they still aren't connecting cleanly on their passes. And some of that is going to have to change if they're going to get past this skillful Boston Pride team.
And you see it again right there, picked up off of the intercept. Good move there from Lexi Lang. Couldn't get to the front of the net, though. Carly Taves picking it back up. Taves out of UNH, one of 3 players from the University of New Hampshire in this game, along with her teammate Jenna Rowe and Marie-Jo Peltier. And Lang couldn't get it farther forward. Emily Fluke almost steals that one. But Bustad going to get it up and into the offensive zone. But again, it's just taken out of there just as quickly by the Boston Pride as nearly I say it, so the Beauts can't get that extended setup that Boston has been beating them with nearly all game long so far.
Yes, indeed. And, you know, it's almost weird to say, but I feel like Boston, this might be one of their slower starts in that regard, in as much as being able to really control the tempo and keep the other team at bay. That said, I think also, as I've mentioned, that the Beauts have gotten better at dealing with that.
And we will take our first commercial break now as we have our first media timeout. And back here at Warrior Ice Arena, 7:52 to go now in period number 1. Boston, they are enjoying a 1-0 lead courtesy of Mary Parker. Buffalo trying to get back into this game. A good puck dumped in there. Canceling out the icing there was Becky Bowering. She almost got to that puck ahead of Rowe. But now the camo jerseys get to it. The pass that was intercepted there by Fluke. She tried to go backhand there for Mary Parker. And Buffalo forced to work out of their own end again. Bowering couldn't get past Rowe, but she will instead ship it in, waiting for those teammates. But again, it's kind of more of the cherry-picking forwards in there, not rushing in with authority. But they get one here. Almost taken away. And now the Pride, they push through center. And now trying to push ahead of the defense. Good pass to Mary Parker. Can she get her second? Backhanded through. Save by Fuji Magari.
Fuji Magari showing again that she can hold this Buffalo Beauts team down. And, you know, a part of that, I'm of two minds in that. On the one hand, that is probably why the Buffalo Beauts could even be a little more aggressive and try to cherry pick, as you were saying. But on the other end, they have to be careful and not overtip the balance of only relying on Fuji Magari. They have to come up with some clear and concise passing and some play work to get on the board.
Well, they've got some concise passing here. Is going right to the front. Couldn't feed Brooks Stacy, who was racing to the front of that blue paint. Buffalo trying to get control once again, but they can't get to that puck before Boston. Now they send it into the middle, getting those good tape-to-tape passes together. Dempsey forced wide to the left wing, but now she's able to cut back in wide of the net. Stomping in front of that one was Skarbowski. The Boston has it back at the point. They send it down low. McKenna Brand going to work with it. She's the goals leader in the NWHL. And now Soliotis, a quick one-timer. Went off of a bunch of bodies, but Putina gets it behind the net, tries to feed it out for Dempsey. Softly played back to Fratkin and then back down low. Putina circles at the near side, will now go back to the point. Gets it free. Top of the circle, Soliotis. She fanned on a shot there, but Buffalo couldn't get to it. And now they intercept in the middle, and they will clear. But taking a lot more time than they would like to intercept those passes when it seems like the Pride can nearly intercept at will, as we've got just under 6 minutes to go in the period.
And again, that's something that they're going to have to really tighten up on. It's not just the passing, but they have to have a game plan on how they want to be able to operate in all three zones and stick to that.
And they're right back in right there, trying to feed Peltier in the middle. Couldn't quite get to it. And waiting for it on the side of the net was a Kersey. Couldn't get a shot off. And Putina banks it off of the glass and out. So an early lead for the Boston Pride as that one goes for icing. Trying to race to beat it out was Lexi Lang, but it will go back in front of Lovisa Solander, finally rocking a new Boston Pride mask.
Yes, Lovisa Solander. I love saying her name as at least I remember her telling us how to say it, which is the fun way. But anyway, she's got, yes, a new helmet. I think a few NWHL goalies going to be rocking some new helmet gear. Still got the old pads, though.
The one I did see on Instagram and just seeing it on the bench was Victoria Hansen's with a little bit of that kind of tiger scratch down the side. That one looks pretty nifty to me. But back on ice, Buffalo again, a good centering pass to the front and a good defensive play by Peltier, sliding in there to prevent that clearing attempt from Soliotis. Just over 5 minutes to go in period number 1 now. As Sullivan almost picked up a good pass, forced behind the net is Shermova. Taken away by Carly Taves. At the near side now. Plays it down low, Sullivan. Tries to turn around Shermova. And gets it back down low to Lang from a bad angle. Couldn't feed anyone out in front. And now it's going to be a Kersey and Klimashova taking it back the other way. But they will just dump it in as Buffalo gets a change. So good up-ice work. Sullivan right in front of the penalty box, double teamed by a combination there of Sheriff and some bodies running into that was Bowering. It was Bowering and Kelly who collided. Now Bowering looking to go back the other way from the right wing. Again, flips it in on Solander. She easily just sticks that aside. Just over 4 minutes to go in period number 1 now. Mary Parker gets around Sheriff into the offensive zone, trying to create some more room for herself. Couldn't knife her way through Bustad and delay. But they're going to call an interference now. Excuse me. And it will be Sarah Bustad heading to the box at the 4-minute mark. So second power play opportunity of the evening for the Boston Pride.
Yes, the Boston Pride power play, of course, brought to you by American Giant, tough like the NWHL.
And a couple of fans in the chat saying that might have been a bit of a late call, and I can't help but agree. But it's held in there by Boston. And down low, Parker, wrapping it back out. Wolfeiler up to Fratkin. Tees up that slap shot, goes well wide. Soliotis picks it up at the half wall now. That solid PK of Buffalo going to work is shoved in against the wall by Bowie and now gotten out to a Kersey. A very good clear there by Buffalo. So officially Bustad 2 minutes for interference there. And coming right back in, Wolfeiler. She goes right to the front of the net, off of the stick there. Rebound try, couldn't be poked away at by Parker. And Fujimagari covers with 1:17 left on the woman advantage. That's already something I'm trying to question as I see in the chat. We're almost through period number 1. No Kaylee Fratkin penalties yet.
Don't worry, folks. It's coming.
Rest assured that will fill up. She leads this team in that category, and for good reason. But back down low to Jillian Dempsey. 1:06 to work now. Back up top to the point, Bender, the new defensive pair out there, her and Kelly. And Bender going to send one through, only off of the body. Peltier, she will clear back to center, but gathered up quickly by Bender. And now in, Dempsey trying to slice her way through about 3 Beauts jerseys, but they will clear out. 2:47 to go in period number 1 now. 45 seconds remaining on this power play presented by American Giant. And switching to the middle and into the zone now, dropping it off was Brand. Tried to go back to the point, but Bender had to retreat, and now out to Putinha. And Lexi Bender still looking for her first goal of the season. She's got 3 assists helping out on the back end there. And down low, Buffalo gets to it first and will get it back to center ice. Again, a very successful kill for the Beauts. And back into the zone beyond the couple of the forwards. Peltier will get to it and up the half wall. She can't clear out. Fratkin will dump it and try to cycle it down low from the backhand. Peltier gets to it again. Almost held in as right out of the box, going back the other way. Bustad with some numbers. Looking for Bowie possibly in front of the net, but both of them go behind. 1:51 to go in the period. Bowie now turning from the corner, watched by Lexi Lang. Goes back up top, Kersey backhands it through. So a good pushback after this kill by the Beauts, trying to get that equalizer on the board. Kaylee Fratkin up ice. Forwards will try to give it chase, but not before an icing is called with 1:32 to go.
And still down 1 goal, but the Buffalo Beauts are finding a way to maintain aggressive. Again, just have to clean up that final touch, get some more shots on Salander. We don't have the official shot count up on the board for us, but I think it's safe to say that Fujimagari has made more saves than Salander in this game.
So far, it seems so good. And how about give a call to the special teams so far? We know how deadly the power play is for Boston and how good the penalty kill is for Buffalo, and they very much kept them in this game on a couple of power plays that could have been game demoralizers if Boston had gotten another goal.
And so you wonder then, how can a team like the Buffalo Beauts capitalize on that and bring some of that to even strength?
Trying to take every bit of momentum, but here comes Lexi Lang. She gets sprung. Top shot! She scores! That's the entry she loves so much, sweeping in from the right wing, near side of the ice, and she just puts it right up top of Fujimagari's glove. Make it 2-0 Boston Pride with just 58 seconds left in period number 1.
Yeah, beautiful goal there. And you see, though, that the Buffalo Beauts did not close in on Lang. They gave her way too much space. She could basically decide whatever shot she wanted. Was able to read Fujimagari was going down, goes right over the shoulder. That's something, though, that the Buffalo Beauts, and we talked about it with the team last time they were here, they need to clean up on defensive assignments.
And also what the Pride is doing so well that I think was illustrated on that goal, catching the players perfectly in stride. They saw Lang going for that offensive zone. They didn't want to do a dump and chase, got it right to her, and she's able to finish with the goal as we've got 30 seconds to go in period number 1 now. So Lexi Lang, credit for the goal. That is her 4th of the season, and she hits the double digits now with points. She's up to 10. One of the members of this rookie line. And Emily Fluke going to try to clear it out here in the final 10 seconds. And Buffalo going to try for one last push. Peltier gets it in. Brooke Stacey, their most dangerous goal scorer. Forced wide from the half wall, gets it into the middle, but unable to get a shot right there at the end was Brown. So that is how we will end the first 20 minutes of play.
And I think if we are going to talk about both teams, what they are feeling good about, what they want to clean up on, I think the Boston Pride are feeling good that they have a 2-0 lead. I don't think that they came out as aggressive as we've seen them. So I think what they will want to work on coming into the second period is just making sure that they are playing Boston Pride hockey for all 3 periods. And I think they can definitely up it a little bit as for the second period. So Sam, I don't know. What do you think from? And we see Kareen Bowie actually was talking to the officials. We'll try and figure out what that was about. But what do you think that the Buffalo Beauts are going to want to talk about in the locker room?
Well, I think first and foremost, they're just going to want to talk about efficiency with passing. Boston has done that really well, not only in terms of cutting off their own passes, but connecting to the forwards in stride. And although they have those aggressive offensive and defensive bodies Buffalo does to get in there and collect those pucks on the dump and chase game, try to go in with some reinforcements. Establish yourself for extended zone time rather than kind of being the one and done where you just maybe go in, one shot, you're right back out. Or go in with only one forward, Pride take it away, that's the end of your offensive rush. So just keeping that consistent, I think the Buffalo Pride can get right back in this game. When they've gotten close to Lavisa Salander, they've gotten close in. But we thank all our fans for joining us here on Twitch TV in the chat and here on Military Appreciation Night at Warrior Ice Arena. So we certainly want to send a big thank you for your service to all men and women serving this country who have served this country. But we will take our break now for the first intermission and be back with the second 20 minutes. Boston up 2-0. And welcome back in, fans of the NWHL, to Warrior Ice Arena and watching live on Twitch TV. Getting ready for the start of the second period between the Boston Pride and the Buffalo Beauts. Pride currently leading 2-0 off of a pair of goals from Mary Parker and Lexi Lang. I'm Sam Fryman, Erica Ayala alongside me. And Erica, going into this second period, it seems like a lot of the fans are picking a couple of the Beauts superstars to get that first goal. A lot of love for Corrine Bowie, a lot of love for Brooke Stacy. Hard to bet against Stacy, I think, in my mind. 6 goals in 5 games, and one of the only Beauts who has connected in both games against the Pride so far this season.
I agree with all of that, as well as when you have someone like Corrine Bowie, you know it's only a matter of time before they step up. And not just in this game, but I think at this point in the season, the Buffalo Beauts do need to establish and solidify what kind of team they're going to be on the ice. Again, we talked about how historically this is a franchise that tends to bounce around, but always finds themselves in the final. But every year I say it, if you know you're going to get to the final, you know, why not work the way you want to work instead of digging holes for yourself?
Well, looking at the shot total also from that first period, Boston led in that category 14-4. So definitely not a statistic the Buffalo Beauts want to see, as they've been down on that shot total the last few games. But puck is dropped and we are underway for period number 2. Teams switching sides of the ice. Buffalo trying to work out of their own end now. Backhand pass intercepted by Putinha. She couldn't send it to the middle. And a Kersey will work out now. To her left, Klimasova. She gets it in, but lost the puck. Did a Kersey. Putinha trying to fend it back out, just held in. And taking a tumble there is Fracken, so Klimasova, a good break to get to it. A Kersey behind the net. Couldn't center it out in front for one of her teammates, but frankly, none of them were even there when she tried to make that pass. But she again sends one out in front where Sheriff was waiting that time. And Boston trying to go back the other way, so a good jump in the opening minute for the Beauts here.
Yeah, and you mentioned that there's no one there on that doorstep. Those are things that Buffalo's going to have to clean up.
But now they go in with numbers here. He's Bustad forced wide to the backhand, though. Good job just riding her all the way into the board by Lexi Bender. And Pride will work it back out as far as center, stretching to cancel out that icing. A couple of number 11s. That's Guillen versus Fluke, and Fluke's going to do so. Now Buffalo again just trying to clear out of their own end of the ice. Rimming it along the half wall to Sheriff. And into the middle there, cut off at the red line. Bender, she will dump it right back into the near side corner. A minute and a half gone in period number 2 now. Again, Pride wearing the camo jerseys as part of Military Appreciation Night here at Warrior Ice Arena. And into the near side corner. That one will go for an icing for Buffalo. Back down into their end in front of Mariah Fujimagari, who again has been very serviceable. 12 saves in that first period on 14 shots. Definitely a lot like the first weekend in which the Beauts played the Pride. The reason they're still close in this game and have an opportunity to get back at Boston.
Yes, definitely. Mariah Fujimagari is a player that stands out. But as it was mentioned in the chat from Goalie Guild, I believe, Lovisa Salander, what she's not seeing in shots on net, she is, you know, making sure that she's contributing to what her teammates are doing. She has an active stick. She's moving things around and moving herself around, more importantly, to be a part of the play, which is going to be important because she also can come up big for her team.
Getting the quick ups, that's what you definitely like to see from a goalie, as Buffalo controls off of this center ice draw here. But Sullivan sends it back into the offensive zone. Giving quick chase to that was Lang. Sullivan almost got it back, but stepping onto it, tried to turn the other way, was Brooke Stacy. But again, just a good back and forth push from the Boston Pride. And finally, Beauts able to get it beyond the red line here. And turning back the other way. Bustad will pick it up, looking for a good up ice pass. Again, intercepted. This rookie line's been out there quite a long bit, but they've been very successful on the forecheck as Sullivan reaching there just past Birdsall. And on the half wall right in front of the Boston bench, it's still battled for. Going back the other way, here comes Brooke Stacy, forced to a regular wing, patted aside, rebound couldn't be gotten, as racing to the front of the net there looked like Kermova. And again a quick shot, just goes off of the side of the right post, it looked like. Boston digging to get that puck out, and they do so. Carly Taves forced to the middle. Lang touches up, and now she can drop it back off. Poutinho's there. From the half wall, looking for a good pass. Got lost in the skates of a Kersey, or else she could have cleared it. Poutinho again just trying to get it off of the half wall. Now she's double teamed, and bailing her out of that situation will be McKenna Brand. Backhands it from the far side. Got 16:47 to go in the period. Again, a good touch pass down low to Brand. She couldn't get a shot off from that pass. And Buffalo again in transition across the center line of Kersey. She fires one right into the gut of Solander. She makes the save with 16:33 to go in period number 2.
And we have to see more of that. Buffalo that is getting shots on net. We'll see they're of course going to have this draw. But they need to be good and clean off this draw, Sam, and be able to control the puck in the O-zone, get some shots on Solander.
And so many more of the comments talking about just the packed house here at Warrior Ice Arena, and that's great to see for the NWHL and for this Boston team, given how much success they've had so far.
Indeed, great crowd today.
And the Pride, they're going to take it back out after Fracken recoiled. She now goes and builds up a ton of speed along the right wing. Doing it all herself is Kaylee Fratkin. Tries to swing around wide from her knees, makes that pass. And in the corner, a couple of players try to staple it in. That was a combination there of Fluke and Wolfeiler. From the half wall, Wolfeiler will get to it. She backhands it out of trouble where waiting is Fratkin. She takes a big slap shot. Almost got a redirect from Mary Parker going in at the last second to block off Fuji Magari. And again from the wall, it's gotten off, and Bowering will send it ahead. Sheriff ahead of the puck, so she's going to cancel out that icing. A good job from her off of the bench. Waiting for her teammates to join her there, but can't get it back out to the point. But like we mentioned in the first period, what I thought might be one of the keys for the Buffalo Beauts, they're coming into that offensive zone with a lot more support. Multiple forwards getting more extended zone time, waiting for the D to come in to be able to send it back to the point. And Sheriff also there, a great example of when you can beat the defense, you can sort of wait there, formulate your play, and then you have 1, 2, 3, even 4 options when those forwards rush in there for support.
Yes, indeed. Being able to control the puck and be able to make good looks and good passes is more of what Buffalo has done this evening, but more of what they need to do.
And a good pass from Benner into the middle for Lang. Tried to get a good couple of stick moves there past Orzechowski, but couldn't do so. But Lang still with control of the puck. Again, she circles. Rebound came out, and Lang almost got that one. Great individual effort, number 16. And Boston again picks it up. We're just over 5 minutes through period number 2. Still a 2-0 Boston lead. Bender slap shot almost went through, but off of the left post of Fuji Magari there. And Buffalo, same song, different verse. They cannot clear and get to that puck before a Boston player. Lauren Kelly now, forced with her backhand, gets it out to Brand. She works from the center. Before she meets trouble, sends it to Bender. That bounces out of the air, almost in on Fuji Magari. Again, they whack at it, and diving up to finally cover that puck, Mariah Fuji Magari keeps it out.
Really good heads-up play by Fuji Magari, as it looked as though she had cleared that, or had saved the puck and was looking to clear it, and it got caught up in the skates of one of her own teammates right there, and it was kind of bouncing around from shin guard to leg pad.
And having a bit of trouble corralling that, and Boston was all over it, licking their chops because they saw that puck was still free. But now Poutinho getting to it, far side corner. Trying to tap that puck away from her was Bowie, but now Buffalo will get to it. A good stretch pass, a Kersey just beyond the blade of her stick, or else she could have had a golden opportunity in ahead of Rowe. So 14 minutes to go, again sent right out in front to the net. A couple of good collisions there. But that's going to be a delayed penalty call on Buffalo.
Yeah, I believe that is Klimsova who they're going to get. I didn't see what they called, but it looked like a pretty strong check to me.
It was a pretty strong whack, and Buffalo, it looked like, was trying to get that centering pass from behind the cage right out into the front of the net, and just bodies collided, and sometimes trying to make that play, you draw a penalty. So third power play of the night for the Boston Pride, presented by American Giant. 0 for 2 so far. Trying to get their first one of the evening against a very successful Buffalo penalty kill. They win the draw back to the point. So Leotis given some room, now gets it to the opposite circle. A quick tap pass from Brand. She didn't want to take the shot just yet. And Brand across. So Leotis went off of the shins there. Rebound came out to Brand, trying to fan on it. What a save! Fuji Magari! Stretched back, got one pass out of the air, reached behind her with the right hand, and the puck stays in her glove. And I'm not sure about the Twitch fans, but that could be a save of the year candidate already.
That was pretty. That was pretty.
And best Kessel run, I agree with you right there. Simply how?
Unreal. Unreal. What goalies can do.
So a minute 25 remaining on the Boston power play right there. And thanks to the highly athletic save of Fuji Magari, this remains a 2-0 game. Jillian Dempsey in over the left point. Got a couple of forwards going right to the front of the net. Turning around, just missing was both a combination of Brand and Soliotis, but Pride able to keep control of the puck. Moving down from the circle. Just lifted high at the last second, that attempt from Dempsey. Soliotis forced into the half wall there by Kermova. And gotten with some room now. Bertinia, a good drag. Now she goes to the backhand. One-timer that Brand just missed. Some very slick stick work by Bertinia to get that puck to number 17. And now they still have some room. Going right to the front of the net. Bertinia winds up. Save again. Fuji Magari, as she had a ton of room. And Mariah Fuji Magari really earning her keep as the top penalty killer for the Buffalo Beauts right now.
Indeed, indeed. Fuji Magari is definitely climbing up the ranks for one of the stars of the game in my book.
Simply on fire right now, but still power play time for the Boston Pride. They get it back to the point. Mastel now with Rowe. She fires one right through the middle, was looking for a deflection from Parker. Parker now gets to it. Will try to wrap around. Sends it to the circle. Wolfiler. 12:20 to go in period number 2 now. 21 seconds remaining on the power play. Wolfiler just dangling. Sends it back to the point, but unable to control that one was Rowe, so it goes all the way back down into the Boston end. And still aggressive on the forecheck there are the Beauts. And DeLay not going to let that one to get far, and almost a 3-on-2, but having to go to the bench to cancel that out was Birdsall. But we are back to even strength now. Another very successful kill for the Beauts. They are 3 for 3. And what more can you say about Mariah Fuji Magari on that kill? Just sensational.
She continues to be, for this team, without question, continues to be. And now you want to see the Buffalo Beauts be able to take what Fuji Magari is offering, what they can offer on the penalty kill, and transfer that into getting some goals, getting some shots.
You know you can stop them. Now you just got to score them on your own. And when your goalie makes those kind of acrobatic saves like that, keeps you in the game, and it's still only 2-0 on the scoreboard, plenty of minutes still to play.
Exactly. And you got to, you want to pay your teammate back for the work they're doing.
And Mary Parker now tried to go through the legs there of Orzechowski, got caught up. I'm sorry, Skarbowski, not Orzechowski. A couple of good stick lips as losing an edge there briefly, and now it's going to be an opportune chance for the Buffalo. Tried to send it to the middle for a Kersey, did Klimashova. Fresh out of the box, but now turns into a transition opportunity for the Pride. Lang tried to get it away to Sullivan. Sullivan picks it up a bit behind schedule, and now behind the net. Lang able to tap it out of trouble. Sullivan getting there just before Bowie. Still held by the Pride. Buffalo, they have some room to work now, and they will get out of their own end. Sheriff moving from her right wing, but only as far as the red line at center. Now right in front of the benches, puck still stapled in against. Right below us and going down a couple players. And Lauren Kelly got a couple bad gut checks, it looks like there. But they will call a stoppage of play with 10:37 to go, and the faceoff will come to center ice.
Let us know in the comments, folks. We have some camo jerseys here. What do you think about the Boston Pride and their threads tonight?
Personally, I'm always a fan of really stylish jerseys in any league of hockey and any league of sport, and I have to say those camo jerseys are some of the sharpest I've seen, and I am very thankful that as a broadcaster, they are camo jerseys that are easy to read. I've had some pretty questionable experiences with camo jerseys before with varying color schemes.
Yes, indeed. I really like that black shoulder detail a lot. You know, matches the trim there at the bottom.
And even just for a standard jersey, hard to beat that baby blue of Buffalo, just their regular everyday jersey.
That is very true. You know, on Military Appreciation Night, also give a shout out to the Riveters' new jerseys.
And Brand going to take it in now with one of those military jerseys. And Fracken whacking away at it to keep it in at the corner. Brand down low. She's been held off the goal sheet so far tonight, but she does lead the NWHL in that category. And actually tied with her teammate Jillian Dempsey for total points, as another save made by Fuji Magari. 9:31 now to go in period number 2. And welcome back in here at Warrior Ice Arena. Boston up 2-0 on the Buffalo Beauts with 9:31 to go in period number 2. And just taking a look at the shot total, it's more the same so far between the two teams. Boston leading this period alone 10-3, which total has them leading by just over threefold in the shot category over Buffalo, 24-7. But the Beauts right in right now as Guillen fires a shot that goes wide. She picks it up in the corner. And trying to center it right out in front. Big pad save from Solander. As on the doorstep was McPherson. She followed her the whole way with the right pad.
Always ready.
Going back the other way. Pride with it now. They get in over the right point. And behind the cage working with it. Trying to turn out as we've got 8:44 to go in period number 2. On the half wall, Kelly trying to keep it in. She will cycle it farther down low for Emily Fluke. Looking for that pass in the middle. Gets a big elbow there, and that's going to be a penalty. Assessed to delay, her second of the night. A couple of the Pride players were taking exception to that.
This is where the Buffalo Beauts need to be disciplined. They excel on the penalty kill, we know that. But this is also, again, just about being smart. There are professional fouls, definitely, that happen as a part of hockey in all sports, but you also have to just think about momentum and also opportunities. You want as many more opportunities on net, but you're not going to do that.
And that was one of the keys I had for the Buffalo Beauts, turning back to that series with Metropolitan that the Boston Pride were involved in. You can't keep racking up these penalty minutes because eventually that power play goal is going to break for the Boston Pride, and that could even translate to even strength. We've seen how often in games they've just built up goal after goal after goal. So sitting in the box, another American Giant power play. Haven't scored one yet, have the Boston Pride, and they will work now with just over 8 minutes to go in period number 2. But Buffalo, they are on the puck right now, trying to make something happen short-handed. There was a combination of Acursi and Skarbowski, and Acursi still working with it in the corner now, killing off precious time for Buffalo. She staples that puck in against the corner. Referee telling her to move it. But she does some very good work, and already about 45 seconds killed off of that Boston power play. And racing up the wing, going in on her own, ran into another good defensive play by Chermova. And Sheriff, she will now go in over the right point. So some good short-handed play. Not content just to play the dump game on this penalty kill are the Beauts so far. And is that a bit of that urgency coming into play, knowing that they've been in the box quite a few times this game?
Yeah, they need it.
Rushing right back in, Fratkin. Again, probably surprising to the fans that she hasn't been in the penalty box yet, but she's a big staple of this power play. As one-timer back to Soliotis. Again, a good save. Fujimagari takes it back out, but not cleared by the Beauts. Soliotis sends it down the half wall, trying to dig away at it. Putinha and Dempsey. Putinha going to get to that puck and backhands it out of trouble. 20 seconds to work now for the Pride. Putinha from the circle. Tried to go opposite end for Brand. Forced to cycle is McKenna Brand now. She gets some room for the circle. Tried top shelf, short side. She picks it up. Will now go with the wraparound, sprawling out. Fujimagari somehow able to keep a shot attempt out. Now Soliotis goes side of the net. Again, a big stretch save. What work by Mariah. And still pressure as we're back to even strength for the Pride. Fratkin slap shot that rises high. Players almost jumping for it there. Getting taken down was Putinha. And Jillian Dempsey back up top. Soliotis can't quite go to the opposite circle. It still feels like a power play even though we're at even strength. And again a shot turned aside by the shoulder of Fujimagari this time. What more can she do to keep her team in this?
Score a goal, I guess.
If only.
Amazing sequence there. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around what we saw from Fujimagari, and now again we want to see her teammates be able to capitalize on that.
Well, they're into the offensive zone now. Tried to center it for Guillen, broken up at the last minute there by Soliotis. 5.5 to go now in period number 2. And I'll just say it in case somebody hasn't in the chat already. Mariah on fire.
Ooh, she Mariah, she on fire.
And into the corner now, dumped in again by the Boston Pride. Wolfeiler couldn't quite corral it. In the corner fighting with it there, Skarbowski and Parker. Beauts finally able to get it free, sent out into the middle. And Guillen trying to go ahead of Rowe. Push to the near side there. And Wolfeiler touches up. And we're going to get another penalty call on the Beauts, this time a slash at 4:57. They can't shake this penalty bug right now, Ken Buffalo, and not too long after that first American Giant power play it ended for the Pride, they go right back to it. And I tell you, that 90% penalty kill has really come in handy so far, not the least of which being courtesy of number 37 in net.
Indeed. Mariah Fujimagari definitely making a name for herself in this game as she has done for this team all season.
And sorry, I have to correct myself. It is actually a Buffalo power play as sitting in the box, Fratkin finally gets on that penalty minute sheet. You know she was going to eventually.
Everyone knew it was happening, just a matter of time.
I'm sorry, another correction there. Alyssa Wolfeiler in there for slashing the official call.
And by that I meant we'll wait, Fratty. I hope she probably listens to these and is like, why does everyone just assume I'm going to the box? In which I would say, we've seen your stats.
Seen her stats. She's told me a lot of stories, and I've heard a couple of stories from her former teammates about the way she played at BU all the way up to the NWHL. It's just fratty hockey, as they called it.
I love it. I'm here for it.
But Wolfeiler, the one sitting on the box. 4 minutes to go now in period number 2, and Buffalo with their third power play of the night, trying to score their first one here. But again, just forced back into their own end. And Brooke Stacy picked it up, and I feel like we barely called her name during this game so far. A little quiet on the offensive end of things has been Brooke Stacy, their leading goal scorer.
Yeah, and you want that to change, definitely, because you have a player like Stacy. But also that means that, you know, in times like these, other players are going to have to step up.
And 30 seconds to go now on the power play for the Beauts. And racing up with it is mentioned Brooke Stacy. She gets it aside to McPherson. She has some room now. She goes for the center off of the mask there. And Peltier picks it up, sends it back to the point for McPherson. Now down to Kermavo. Quick shot. One-timer that Peltier missed wide of Solander's net. Final 10 seconds of the power play. And forced wide, trying to do it all herself. Guillen went off of the shins there. And Boston able to clear, and that will do it. Another successful kill for them as Wolfeiler is out of the box. So even strength with just under 3 minutes to go now in period number 2. And Buffalo, they have been trying their hardest to get back into this game, just can't get one past the Boston goaltender and get set up. As that one goes high, and they called it out of play there. So we will get a face-off that should come back to neutral ice. And another call from a good couple of the fans to the notorious MJP there on the power play, making some good defensive plays as well as just missing on that one-timer attempt that could have beaten Solander if not for her mask. But a good setup here for the Pride as rebound comes out to Brand. She scores! A good shift that started in from Kaylee Fracken as she sent one right to the front of the net. And just a really juicy rebound came off of the right pad of Fuji Magari, and Brand was there unchallenged. So she will remain on Brand for her leading 8th goal of the season, 14th point. And it is now 3-0 Boston Pride.
Not sure who that was, but someone blocked that shot that was coming in, and I don't even know if it ever made it to Fuji Magari's pad, but the other side of the net far post was open.
And quick, bang, bang, once again, this top line.
I believe.
When it rains, it pours. And how about staying even more on Brand than before? 2 tallies in approximately 13 seconds for McKenna Brand. Make that goal number 9 and make it 4-0 Boston Pride.
That's your October Player of the Month, making a case for being, at least so far, the November Player of the Month.
And I like the little thank you very much hand gesture she made to her teammate Christina Putinha. Little tip of the glove, thank you very much. Let's pick up some more stats.
Tip of the glove, flick of the wrist, as some may know it. Either way, it was ching ching, bang bang.
And Boston still controlling with this top line in the offensive zone. Putinha again tries to send it for the front. And Buffalo trying to go right back the other way, just missing on a shot there. Bowie gets the rebound. And that was Brand from Soliotis, that last goal. And she's got 2 in approximately 13 seconds. And we'll have to see if any of the big statisticians check me on that, but I believe that might be the quickest instance of 2 goals back-to-back in the league this season, unless I'm wrong. As a quick shot fired there, rebound comes off of the stick of Bustad. Are they going to count that as a goal or not?
We'll see.
Haven't gotten an official signal for the referee. The Beauts bench certainly seems to think so. And still waiting on an explanation officially.
Tried to catch the replay on Twitch. It looks as though it will be a Beauts goal, going by how you see Jillian Dempsey advocating for her team, but then also at the fact that that puck was brought over to the Beauts bench as to celebrate an accomplishment here. I'm not sure who the goal that has yet to be awarded will be credited.
To me, it looked like Bustad was the last one in there on the net, and perhaps the only thing you can argue if you're a Boston Pride fan is that either A, she ran into Solander and you have goaltender interference, or that stick was just a little high before that puck went in. But nonetheless, Buffalo gets on the board for the first time tonight at 18:56 and is 4-1. And McPherson going to go right back in from the center, blocker to side there. by Salander. And McPherson still with control. Tried to send it to the middle, only bounces off a shin there of Lang. So quite a few goals in quick succession in this game within about 2.5 minutes. And Buffalo, they get their first one. And it's going to be officially credited to Sarah Bustad from Cassidy McPherson. So Bustad, that's going to be her first of the year. And now coming right back in, Brooke Stacy. You know how dangerous she is in the goal-scoring category as we're into the final 17 seconds of period number 1. Boston going to try another rush. They get it ahead to Lang. Tried to drop it off in the middle, but now will take the shot herself. Waiting for it on the doorstep was Bender, but decided to play it to the side. Final 4 seconds. Maybe going to try one final shot, but that one goes back to neutral ice, and that is how we will end period number 2 from here at Warrior Ice Arena. Well, it was 2-0 for Boston going in. And then after a couple of missed power play opportunities, a bang-bang couple of goals from just great chemistry from the top line, and both of them officially given to McKenna Brand, who has her 8th and 9th goals of the season. The NWHL leader in that category, staying on brand, as the fans love to say, but then getting one back late. A bit of a confusing goal. We weren't sure if it was in quite there. But Sarah Bustad, and getting that goal so late, that has to give the Buffalo Beauts momentum, if anything, from their offensive side of things, as well as just the continued superb play of Mariah Fujimagari.
Yes, I think you were starting to see people mentioning it in the chat that, perhaps this is a momentum shift when you're not able to capitalize off of a power play, and then you then concede 2 goals. That's tough to come back from. But I think the Buffalo Beauts going into this third period will have some momentum off of that last goal.
And looking at the chat here, someone did get me that stat. That is a new NWHL record for the fastest 2 goals, just 13 seconds apart, and it beats former Boston Pride member Gigi Marvin, who had 2 goals in 22 seconds. So that is where we stand after 40 minutes. Looking at the shots on goal total, Boston still leading pretty heavily in that category, 33-13. That magic number for Paul Mara is usually 50 shots on net, so only 17 away from that with 20 minutes to play. But a 4-1 game here at Warrior Ice Arena, and we will take our break and be back for the final 20 minutes. And welcome back in, fans of the NWHL, to the packed house that is Warrior Ice Arena this evening, getting ready for the start of period number 3 between the Boston Pride and the Buffalo Beauts. Current score of the game, Boston up 4-1, thanks to what is a new NWHL record for the fastest 2 goals in succession, 13 seconds apart. A duo by McKenna Brand, and able to get kind of a strange-looking goal late from Sarah Bustad. The Buffalo Beauts able to get on the board in this game, so that is where we stand 4-1. Both teams 0 for 3 so far on the power play, but in that shot category, stat Beauts fans won't want to see still very down there, 33-13. Managed more shots in that period in on Lavisa Solander, and obviously was able to get one past her, but they're not doing it in bulk and in bunches as effectively as the Boston Pride are right now, Erica.
And for the Beauts to make this game competitive, they're going to have to change that. That's, obviously down 3 goals, you're going to have to get shots on net because that's how you're going to get a goal. But they have to also be careful that they're not looking just for that perfect pass. They need more opportunities, but balancing that with also taking, good shots that are going to be effective.
And coming out to the ice now, the woman who has just been as strong and steady as Mount Fuji, Mariah Fuji-Magari, in net. 29 saves on 33 shots, but the puck is dropped, and we are underway for period number 3. As the Pride look to keep that winning streak going, they're into the offensive zone quickly now with that top line who was responsible for those bang-bang goals late in the second. But Shermova picking it up now. She will dump it down into the Boston end. Team switching sides of the ice. A good collision there in the corner. And Shermova back out there. Tried to spring a couple players ahead, but they all have to change. So Acursi, the lone forward back, allowing the Pride to make a couple of changes and then start back out with that top line. Building up some speed along the left wing and into the offensive zone is the captain, Jillian Dempsey. But Bowering was able to get that puck away from her. And now Brown sends it right back in, giving it Chase Sheriff. She flips one easily past the side of the cage. And this is that aggressive dump and chase push you want to see Buffalo start applying here to get back into this game. But again, no extended setup.
And here we go. They're starting to get some numbers forward, but again, just not all on the same page or the same pace for that matter.
And third line out there, Mary Parker couldn't quite get it out. Bustad tried to flip it back in. And now Mary Parker going to flip it around. Sheriff at the half wall, try to pick it up behind the cage. She takes a tumble. Bad angle try there from Wolfeiler, but that gets snared and covered up by Mariah Fuji-Magari. And we thank all of our fans from tuning in on Twitch TV. We got the stats from the last month in the first half of the NWHL season, just short of 1 million total views, which is an incredible number. And given the makeup, number one, fans watching tonight, we'd like to know where you're viewing from. But looking at the makeup, 60% in the U.S. And how about a big call to 10% for the United Kingdom tuning into our games? And we certainly know they do have plenty of hockey out there with the EIHL and Women's League as well. But definitely a tip of the cap to the UK.
Indeed. Thank you all from wherever you're watching.
And Guillen going right back in. She has Stacy to her right. Could develop a 2-on-1. Rebound came out. Stacy couldn't quite get there, though, before Lexi Bender took that puck out of there. Good defensive work again by the Pride. And they clear it all the way back down, so we will get our first icing call with just over 2 minutes gone in period number 3.
I think I saw someone say they were from Houston, Texas in the thread earlier.
Upstate New York, Oregon. And if anybody out there is representing the 215, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, like myself, definitely give me a shout out. And behind the cage now, Buffalo working for it. Acursi, a good backhanded pass there, but couldn't quite get to the captain, Bowie. So Boston an opportunity to take that out, but only goes into the middle where Peltier will hop back onto it. Right in front of the penalty boxes. Kelly going to dump it farther ahead. Allows a much-needed defensive change for Boston right now. And Buffalo looking to catch them. About 3 minutes gone into the middle. Tap just ahead by Bowie. But Boston takes it out just as quickly. And right out in front, big slap shot that rises high. A very good attempt there by Shermova. But it goes in transition right back the other way. Here's McKenna Brand getting some room for the circle. Winds up, tried to go glove side. But Fujimagari was ready for it again. One bounced high. Goes behind the cage. Rebound come right out. And just missing that shot was Putinha. This top line again. Just chance after chance to get past the Buffalo goaltender. And going right back in. Brand almost cut off trying to get that puck behind the cage. She and Dempsey worked with it. Got into Brown. From the half wall, Fluke now. Good and aggressive in on the forecheck. Tried to backhand it to the front of the cage. Shoved out of there now by Fujimagari. And Buffalo is going to be able to go to work. Back into the offensive zone, handed down by Parker. And across the line, takes a good shove there by Skarbowski. But Buffalo still trying to send it right to the front of the net. Picked up by Parker, again patted aside, Fujimagari. Wolfweiler back up top to the point. Soliota's trying to send it through, deflection, they score! Going right to the front of the cage, it was a combination of Mary Parker and Emily Fluke. Not sure which one of them got the deflection last. It looks like it may be Mary Parker for her second of the evening. But in any event, another early strike for the Boston Pride. They now lead 5-1 with just over 4 minutes gone in period 3.
Again, the Boston Pride do a good job of keeping the puck, of being able to stay in that offensive zone. And then you see that they get their own rebounds, stay in the zone. And then in that case, Mary Parker was able just to find enough space between Fujimagari and the post to make it 5-1.
And Buffalo, here's their responsive. McPherson trying to go right in on Solander. Her glove side, she was ready down there with the pads. As an icing call goes there, gives us time to check a couple of more locations of where people are watching from. I saw a lot of California love out there, the Bay Area. Sydney, Australia. I can't even imagine what hour it must be there, at least 24 hours ahead. And again, wherever you are, wherever you're listening from, we hope you've enjoyed this broadcast, and we hope you keep coming back. As a good intercept here from Lang, gets it to the front for Taves! Another big save! Fujimagari. But just great transition work to get those passes to connect for the Boston Pride. They've been doing it all night. And what more can Buffalo do defensively to just stop that assault? It seems like just every Boston pass is connecting where it should be gotten to.
It definitely is that, but I think, again, Buffalo has shown some weaknesses on defense, and they sometimes wander away and don't cover far posts, or what we would call in basketball, weak side. You have to be able to help your goalie out there. That's a blind spot for them.
The Buffalo defense, they get it back now, but again, only send it as far as center. This top line just going to be content to dump it right back in at will for the Pride. And not cleared. Held in by Dempsey. She gets some room from the circle. Tries to fire her wrister through. Kicked aside by the right pad of Fujimagari. Goes into the near side corner now. Diving to try to get that one is Brand. She's helped out there by the Boston captain. Couldn't backhand it to where one of her teammates was waiting. Could Dempsey. And half wall now. Rowe sends it to the corner. Brand getting it with a forehand away to Dempsey. She'll now work behind the cage. Gets her right out in front. Just missing on the one-timer. Putinha. But this top line continues to go. Again, a shot by number 21 high into the netting. And I think having to duck to get out of the way of that one also was McKenna Brand. So stoppage with just about 6 minutes gone in the third period.
Again, this Boston Pride team, if there was anything that I could call them out on, certainly in the first period, was that they just weren't playing, at the speed or with the intensity that we've been used to. But I think they sure picked it up in this third period, Sam.
And a couple of the fans just commenting about this Buffalo defense, a bit like you were saying, Erica, what defense right now?
Well,
as Suliotas almost slices through all of them there. She had Parker going with her as well. And Buffalo again trying to get it down to the corner. Good elbow shove from Wolfweiler in there on Bowering, trying to wrestle that puck out from where Bowering, it looked like, was sitting on it. And back out to the point. Fratkin, slap shot off of the shins there of Brown. Soliotis tries to get it down low. Now she switches places. She almost takes a tumble. Gotten back out, given away to Fratkin from the roll. Will rim it around to the end. Wolfiler picking it up. Almost picked it up behind the cage. Soliotis again holds it in at the half wall. Keeping these pucks in are the Pride. Fratkin with some room. Goes back out to the circle. Firing one and rebound. How did that not go in? Bailed out by her defense was Fuji Magari. Looked like Bustad got in front of that one.
Excellent job. Just as I was saying, to cover the far post. That's why you cover the far post.
And again, one bounces out for Mary Parker. And going to be a penalty called here. And I think it's going to be delay heading to the box once again. That, I believe, is at least her second trip to the box. She's played aggressively all night long. But fourth American Giant power play opportunity for the Boston Pride. American Giant, they're strong like the NWHL. Pride power play hasn't quite been as strong as we might expect it to be. But all of it has really come down to Mariah Fujimagari. And it's actually going to be a 4-on-4 as both delay and I believe Wolfiler also in the box. We'll have to see the official calls here. As Boston now just 8 shots away from that 50-goal plateau they like to get to. But 4-on-4 for the next 2 minutes as we've got 12:43 to go in period number 3 now. Bender back at the point. Gets it down low. Sullivan now creates some room for herself. Goes short side. She scores! Flick of the wrist. What moves Tori Sullivan?
I mean, she got me moving on that shot. My goodness, that was beautiful. That was an amazing move. She dekes, cuts outside, and then just bang, bang. I believe it went post, hit Fujimagari, and then went across the line.
And poor Mariah Fujimagari now. 6-1 the Boston Pride lead, but I'm not sure too many goalies in the entirety of the NWHL are going to stop that one from Tori Sullivan. That was just pretty.
Woo! I tell you what, I've been cold all evening, but ooh, that gave me chills.
And 6 goals in the game as Lexi Bender officially gets a 6 credit, so that will be her 4th of the season. And for Sullivan, that now makes it 9 points, her 4th goal of the year. So they can get possibly another one late as a player down here, Lauren Kelly, after taking a hard hit right behind the cage.
Kelly really felt that hit. Saw her on the ground after getting hit. Didn't even go back to pick up her stick. Immediately coming off of the ice under her own, holding up her own weight, but immediately goes off of the bench to be evaluated. That was a big hit behind Salander.
And it's going to be another penalty for the Buffalo Beauts because of that hit. So it will be a 4-on-3 power play for the Pride at the 12:08 mark of period number 3. And then it will become 4-on-4. No, it will then turn over to a more standard power play, I should say, for an additional 46 seconds.
And you see that the captains had a conversation. That was a pretty big hit. I wonder if they were trying to decide, what kind of a penalty that would be, how long she'd be in the box. But that was a pretty heavy hit.
And Kelly, as we saw right down to the tunnel, she was going off under her own power. And we will certainly check post-game. Hopefully we get some good news from that out of head coach Paul Mara. Because although she may not show up on maybe the stat sheet quite as frequently as some of the other Boston Pride players and defensemen, she's been a big veteran for this team, a big stay-at-home defensewoman. And you talk about shuffling around that pairing of her and Kelly, that's existed for nearly 3 full seasons now.
Indeed. And you saw, I was just looking down at Paul Mara. He's worked up. Definitely want to ask him after the game, what he was thinking there, because that was a big hit. But we play on.
The Boston Pride, they've been in the last couple weeks. You turn back to that series against Metropolitan. A lot of really penalty-heavy series the last few games. So definitely have to be wondering what their game plan may adjust to. But they are up 4-on-3 for the moment with 11:33 to go in period number 3. Brand turning with it, gets it back to the top of the circle. A lot of open ice to work with. Kraken looking for a lane, gets it back. Content to go D to D. Now Brand forced to circle, gets it down low. Putinha across, drops it off Fratkin. So Leotis from the circle, side of the net now. Putinha, good save going right to left for Fuji Magari. She's done everything and then some as she makes another save on Soliotis' one-timer. 10 seconds left before it becomes a standard power play for the Boston Pride, presented by American Giant. And back up top, Fratkin. Again, a slap shot goes wide. Both Delay and Fluke out of the box. Thought Fluke was going to go to the bench, but she stays out there. So another 38 seconds of a 5-on-4 for the Boston Pride as we're nearing the halfway point of period number 3.
You see that the Boston Pride seem to favor when they're shooting that glove side shoulder, right above that shoulder.
And it's gotten them many juicy rebounds, which is why I think they're content to keep it cycled out to the point, just let those defense ladies fire away. As Bender does right there as it goes wide of the cage, and being those net front staples once again, Mary Parker and Emily Fluke. And that will be it for the power play, as out of the box came Klimashova. She gives it chase. And unable to fan on that, McPherson. She gets a 2-on-1, got it away to Bowie. Lost it in her skates there. Could have been a good opportunity for Buffalo to get a shot. And Shermova thought she had kept that in, but she was just over the blue line before entering. So icing with 9:47 as we take our media timeout. Back here now at Warrior Ice Arena. 9:47 to go in period number 3. Boston comfortably in control of this game. They lead 6-1. They get that latest goal courtesy of Tori Sullivan. Just a beautiful wrister past Mariah Fuji-Magari, who has had quite a few highlight reel-worthy saves, but just unable to reflect that on the scoreboard. The team in front of her trying to get something going now in the Boston end of the ice. The Pride there too at first, tried to get a centering pass to Spring Sullivan once again. It's the rookie line out there for the Boston Pride. And in the corner, trying to go right through the middle. Guillen, she fires a wrister, ran off the body, it looked like, of Wren before it was able to get in on Solander's net. And half wall, trying to clear once again. Taves has it, near side half wall. Held in, and Lang finally able to get it free. Taves to the middle, gets it to the opposite wing. Sullivan with some room, right back to Taves. Backhand save, Fuji-Magari. Went there right in front of the nets and was some beautiful passing, but unable to finish for the Pride on that occasion. Now back up top to the point. Wren just taps it along.
Sorry to step on you there. Fuji-Magari was just there. She saw it the whole way. And again, that's why, even though with a 6-1 score,
as another one goes in on her, and she makes that stoppage, but just as admirable as ever, and definitely one of my stars of the game.
Exactly. That's where I was going. Even with a 6-1 score, definitely a player that has stood out in this game. I think McKenna Brand, of course, has done great. Mary Parker. But you can't deny that Mariah Fujimagari is one of the top players performance-wise in this game.
And fans, let us know who your picks would be in the chat. We've had a lot of worthy candidates from both teams. But the Pride going to go back the other way. They send it in, delay trying to work it back out. Gets it ahead to center, a good pass to Brown. She gets in over the line, couldn't send it into the middle where Bowering was streaking towards the net. We've got 8:11 to go now in period number 3. That one did not go down for an icing, but the clearing attempt picked up by the Pride. They get it back into the middle. To the point now, Fratkin down low for the circle. Putinha working with it. Gotten into the middle for Dempsey. Tried a bad angle shot now. Did Putinha. Gets her own rebound. Backhanded it through. Skated off a couple sticks. And still the Pride just working to get a bunch of traffic in front of Mariah Fujimagari. And Buffalo, there's really no easy way to say it. Just trying to create a semblance of any kind of offensive momentum right now.
Indeed. And we know that all these teams have had a break, but it's worth noting that the Buffalo Beauts had a bye going into the last week of the season, so they have had even more time between their last action on the ice.
And it had been nearly a full month since they had seen this Boston Pride team, as one goes just off of the net lip there, and a couple players get tripped up trying to go for it with 7:16 to go. And it also makes you wonder about the couple of teams coming up in their game tomorrow. The Connecticut Whale, and then you look at the Metropolitan Riveters, an extra about 2 weeks longer than any of these teams. It'll be interesting to see especially how they respond out of the break, since both teams, both the Riveters and the Whale, coming off of losses that really left them demoralized their last series before this break.
Yes, I think it's all a matter of how the teams respond. We already know that it's the teams that come together early that are usually doing the best in the NWHL.
And Boston takes it right back in, going off of the mask there. It was a clearing attempt and went off of a Kersey's mask, but she gets to the puck right on cue now, is from the red line. Sends one in for Klimashova. She fires one to the glove of Salander. She saw that one all the way. And now a good stretch pass. Emily Fluke, some room for the wing. Will backhand it now to Wolfeiler. She comes into the middle. Couldn't quite get a shot off.
I like that drop pass.
Just leave it for someone to finish the one-timer, perhaps, as McPherson goes in unchallenged. Tried to cut through the defense there of Boston. Almost did so. We've got 6.5 to go in this period. Fluke picks it up at the half wall, but not out. Tell now Chermova. She sends one. Got a couple of deflections there. Almost looked like a pinball machine heading towards the net. And Peltier sends one up for Stacy. Has McPherson going to the front of the net. Just couldn't connect with her tape to tape, or else it could have been a beautiful one-timer, I think. And that's just been the story of the game as we get a call here. Didn't quite see what it was behind the play, but it's going to be both Lexi Lang and McPherson going to the box at exactly the 6-minute mark. So we will have another 4-on-4.
Yeah, they were in that corner. That's a little bit difficult for us to see, but as soon as it looked like the play was dying down, the official whistled that and was basically like, you know what, why don't both of you go ahead to the box?
You can be feisty, just not too feisty in this game. As Jenna Rowe has it off of the face-off. Tried a big stretch pass for Brand. Picked off there by Chermova. He dropped it off at the half wall just for a second for Guillen. She goes into that corner. And now Dempsey to it. Trying to spring one of her teammates. And now cutting through center, Whitney Wren. And 2 minutes for roughing assessed to both her and Lang. Dempsey has it now in the offensive zone, but just subbed out of there. Good late defensive play by Klimashova. Dempsey going to tip it past Peltier. Bustad will collect as we've got 1:09 left of this 4-on-4. A little more open ice. And coming in, Bowie getting a good pass down low there for Stacey. She sent one to the front of the net, no one home. And Bustad just missed it at the half wall there. Delay sends it back down low. In the corner now, Kersey. Looks to go back out in front and wrap it around to Bowie, lost it in her skates. And now Boston Pride with a chance to go ahead of the defense, but that pass is going to be well beyond Sullivan before she gets there. Forces Fujimagari out of the net. 32 seconds to go now in the 4-on-4. Bustad nearly at her pocket pick there by Sullivan. A good pass to the front of the net just beyond the stick blade of Putinha. She was in a good race there with Bustad to get that puck beforehand. So, again, some great passing ideas from Tori Sullivan.
They're looking good. They're missing on a few connections that we're not necessarily accustomed to, but maybe that's just they haven't been in game mode. But this Boston Pride team also wants to make sure that it's not because they're losing focus. Again, we know how skilled all these teams are in the NWHL, so if you take your foot off the gas, you can make it a much more interesting game.
And thank you to the fans in the chat for also giving me the combined penalty minute score right now, 18 between these two teams, 10 for Buffalo, 8 for Boston. As both Lang and McPherson now, they head out of the box. Back to even strength with 4 minutes to go. In regulation, Boston still comfortably in control, a 6-1 lead. Big stretch pass that was well ahead of Lang, and that one does not go for an icing as a couple of Boston forwards were in the vicinity. Trying to get it out of there, into the middle for McPherson. She comes in with Brown, tries to get it to her in the front of the net, skipped just off of the pads of Solander. And Boston will go back. Mary Parker didn't quite expect to receive that pass, but now Lexi Lang gets it back up the middle. Coming with Wolfeiler, backhands it to her, rebound, save! Fujimagari again on the odd woman rush, and Buffalo's going to come right back the other way. Peltier in a race with Rose, stick to side, couldn't get the rebound, but another great show of speed by Marie Jo.
MJP looking good, but
and
that
could be a 3-on-1 now. Right back the other way, halting, sent it into the middle for Rose. She missed on the backhand. Almost like an overtime period, these teams trading odd woman rushes back and forth. With just 2:53 to go now in period number 3. And we may have to have the goalie guild clip this entire game together for Mariah Fujimagari with some of the saves she's made as her personal highlight reel. Is Jillian Dempsey from behind the net right now. And go ahead, finish your thought, Erica.
I was just going to say, MJP there, you'll see she's got some snow on her jersey. She does this sliding block a lot of the times. And as a baseball and softball player, I love to see it. I love to see it on the ice.
Sacrifices the body and always been fun to watch this entire season, MJP play that defensive position. I think definitely going to be one of the stars in this league if she's not already, if she sticks around a few more years. And rimmed around the boards as we're into the final 2 minutes now. Still in the offensive end of the ice for Boston. Wolfeiler picks it up at the blue line. Tries to move farther in. Parker back to the point. Fluke missed the shot. Rebound attempt. Second chance came out. And now Fluke has one blockered out of the air now by Fujimagari. And gotten back down by Guillen. Has nothing but camouflage jerseys over her though. So back the other way. Fluke to Parker. Now down low from the circle. Wolfeiler, good chance in the glove. It came out. But the ref already signaled a whistle before that puck became free. So stopped with 1:33 to go in period number 3.
There are a few times in the last sequence or two that Fujimagari thought she had the puck covered and then kind of lost it. On that one, she got a little handcuffed, got lucky with the whistle, one might say. But then there's another time where she's been way out of position. Again, that means that the Buffalo Beauts need to be mindful of that far post.
And again, a shot wound up. Tried to get to the front of the net by Mastel. Taves giving it chase. And now Sullivan stepping onto it. Has to skirt her way around the Buffalo defense. Now back to the point. Cycled again. Farther down low. Carly Taves. Trying to make something happen with him, but a Kersey picks it up, and Buffalo will finally clear. Up the wing, here comes Klimashova. Has some reinforcements coming with her as Bowie right to the front of the net. Tried to go short side on Solander. She makes the save as we're into the final minute. A Kersey forced back out to center ice and now into her own end, but excuse me. before checking Taves and Sullivan. Back up into McPherson, sends it into the middle as Boston's making a change. Brooke Stacy coming in from the left wing. Halts, top of the circle now, tried to feed it into the middle for McPherson. She fanned on a one-time shot there. It's picked up, back up now by Wren. Boston just going to try to go out of their end and kill off the remaining time here. And back out to center ice. Killing off the final 16 seconds. Jillian Dempsey into the zone. Drops it off for Putina. Will backhand it through to the far side. Wren going to try to hold that in at the corner. She does so. The clearing attempt from Peltier. She's had a lot of blocks in this game, has Peltier, but just stapled against the half wall. And that will do it for 60 minutes here at Warrior Ice Arena. The streak lives on. 8-0-0 for the Boston Pride, as the Buffalo Beauts now fall to an even 500, 3-3-0 on the season. And just a flurry of offense from so many of these Boston Pride players. Multiple goals for McKenna Brand, multiple goals for Mary Parker, and then some beautiful looking ones from Tori Sullivan as well. We wait on word for Lauren Kelly also, as she didn't return to ice action following that hit. But good handshakes all around, and for Buffalo, you can say once again, outstanding goaltending performance, outstanding defense when they needed to, but that lingering statistic once again, low on the shots, low on the offensive scoreboard.
I mean, you know, there's a saying, I think it's attributed to Michael Jordan, that you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And right now, the Buffalo Beauts are not taking, definitely not enough shots against this Boston team. Now, it's questionable on whether it's enough shots for them to be successful, and that's something they're going to have to figure out, especially because there's a quick turnaround. They play the Connecticut Whale tomorrow afternoon.
That they do, and you can catch that on Twitch TV with Erica Ayala once again doing color commentary in that Connecticut Whale game. But stick salutes at center ice from the Boston Pride team in those camouflage jerseys here on Military Appreciation Night. And I've said it so many times, but I just love saying it in the NWHL. Amazing crowd here tonight.
The crowd was great. You know, they were wrapped around in the media deck area, and that's what you love to see. Women's hockey, there is definitely a market for women's hockey in the Boston area. There was the BC-BU rivalry yesterday. Shout out to the fans and folks that were there at that game too. And so now they're making their way to see the NWHL live.
And I encourage all fans, if you're anywhere near any one of the markets in the NWHL, buy some tickets, come out to the game. I promise you, you will not be disappointed in the product. And getting the 3 stars of the game, Mallory Soliotis, 3rd star.
Your 2nd star of the game from the Boston Pride, number 13, Kaylee Fracken.
And Kaylee Fracken, once again, a beast on that blue line, creating a lot of great defensive chances.
Number 17, McKenna Brand.
And keeping the team on brand with 2 goals in this game, just 13 seconds apart. McKenna Brand. And looking at the final shots on goal total, it was 51-19 in favor of the Boston Pride. That's going to make Paul Mara happy, getting over that 50-goal plateau. But this is going to be our wrap-up from Warrior Ice Arena. Next matchup is going to be here for the Pride on the 23rd against the aforementioned Connecticut Whale, and the other game going on that weekend, the Minnesota Whitecaps. They return to action against this Buffalo Beauts team, both of them looking to jostle for that 2nd and 3rd position in the standings right now. But a great game, some exciting plays. We hope you all enjoyed it. I will join you next time, also as a 28-year-old broadcaster on the 23rd as opposed to 27. But we will see you all then. Definitely keep enjoying the NWHL. For Erica Ayala, I'm Sam Fryman, and we will be signing off from here at Warrior 6-1 Boston Pride Final.